Hello everyone, welcome to class 7 lab. So in the theory we discussed how we can connect three pieces using a switch and how a switch will learn the MAC address and forward subframes. So let's see it in the lab. So this switch currently issued a command show space MAC space address dash table, and currently it has no entries. Okay, let's go to PC1. So if I do show IP, there is no IP, I configured it. Okay, same show IP, there is no IP on PC2 as well. Okay, similarly on PC3 no IP. Okay, so when we try to assign IP to VPC, when we type IP space 10.0.0.1/24, when we hit enter, it's not directly taking that configuration. So in the background it is trying to check if there is any IP in the same network. So how the PC1 will know if anybody in the same network has the 10.0.0.1 IP? Basically what it will do is it will just send out the ARP request asking who has 10.0.0.1. If someone responds back, it won't take that IP. Okay, so let's see. Once I hit enter, you can see, so it is checking for duplicate address. So basically in the background it sent an ARP request. So what happens in the ARP request is it will put its source address as source MAC address as PC1 and destination MAC address are all Fs, and it will inside the ARP request it will ask who has 10.0.0.1. So when it's checking for the duplicate address, it sent that ARP request packet. As currently nobody having that address, it didn't receive any response. So it identified that okay, in the local network there is no one having the same IP address as its. So then it's assigned it to the network interface call. So once this happens, PC1 sent this ARP request, right? So means it came on switch Ethernet 1. If you go and see the MAC address table entry, so what switch will do when it receives a packet, it will check the source address and it will update it MAC address table. So as it received the ARP request from 6800, it know from the Ethernet 1, it noted down that this particular 6800 MAC address is behind Ethernet 1. That's how this entry is populated. How switch will use this MAC address table entry as discussed in the class? Whenever it receives a packet with the destination MAC address of 6800, it will forward it via Ethernet 1. Okay, so let's try to assign the IP on PC2. IP 10.0.0.2/24. So if we assign, let's see. So it is doing the same thing. It is checking anybody has the 10.0.0.2 in the same network by sending the ARP request. So when PC2 send the ARP request this way, switch should update its MAC address table. Okay, so if you see 6801, it learned from Ethernet 2 because it received a packet from PC2 on Ethernet 2. Okay, let's go to PC3 and assign the IP address. So PC3 also now did the same thing in the background. It sent ARP request for 10.0.0.3. So when it goes out, it goes to the switch Ethernet 3. So MAC address of this one is ending with 6802. If you go back to the switch, and we should see the third entry being learned. Okay, see, so we didn't configure anything on the switch. Switch is learning dynamically. Okay, based on the packet it received on which port. So now if we try to ping from PC1 to PC2, what will happen is when the packet comes to the switch, it will check the destination MAC address. Okay, so if the destination MAC address in this case for PC2, it is 6801. So switch goes and check, okay, 6801. Where I learned it from? Ethernet 2. Okay, so this MAC address is behind this interface. So it will just forward it. When it received from the PC1, it just send it to the Ethernet 2 and it will go to the PC2. Okay, so this is how switch learns and forwards the frame. So if we try to ping from PC1 to PC2, it should work. Okay, PC2. Oh, sorry, I should use the ping command. Ping. .10.0.0.2 is not responding. Currently we're seeing timeout. Let's see, we have given. Okay, we have given the address. Let's see. Okay, it is there. So let's go back to the switch. If it has the entry, yeah, so it should work. PC1. Oh, okay, what happened is when I tried to give this, maybe it's something. PC1 IP might have changed to a different IP. Okay, so there was no IP on the PC1 because when I wrongly gave the command instead of ping IP, it tried to change the IP address, but it found that 10.0.0.2 is already on 6801. It did not assign and it removed our previous configuration. So let's try to give the IP again. So for PC1 it will be .1. So now if we try to, you can just do up arrow on any device to get access to the previous commands instead of typing again and again. So see, it works. Then try to ping 3. Okay, it is also working. So, and the important thing do is saving the configuration once you do the lab. Okay, so now even you can try to ping from PC3 to any other PC, it should also work. So this is how we will use the switch to connect multiple PCs in the same network. Okay. Yeah. That's all for the lab.